Hey, so what's going on, guys? So right now it's December 20th. It's about a month away from January 20th, which is Inauguration Day. And if you've been following me on this channel, you know that I have given a series of prophetic words on what is shortly going to come to pass. And if you've been paying attention to the true news, that's not what the mainstream media is saying, but what, if you follow Epic Times or OANN or Newsmax, and those guys, more of the independent news guys, as well as your own research online, then you would know that a lot of what I've said, as well as what others have said, are starting to come to pass or have begun. I've mentioned that Trump is going to win a second term, that the Lord is with him, that he's been anointed, and that he's in a season of being built up and he's being broken, as well as being positioned for righteousness, as well as many other people, as well as the church. And so God is calling a lot of us that have prophetic voices to step up and really declare what is shortly going to come to pass, so that the glory of God would be shown and it would be known, and that you would not be in a state to continue to listen to the wrong people. And I call them the false prophets of Baal or Balaam. And they haven't been restored, right? They're not necessarily evil, but they are demonically influenced. I've said that before. Both the Democratic Party as well as many people in the Republican Party and many other people that don't have a solid relationship with God, they've been influenced in a demonic way, and they've been moved and carried into the spirit of the Antichrist in a way that is going against God. And right now, the Lord has allowed a spirit of dissension, a spirit of anxiety, of fear to kind of cloud the world, and specifically the U.S., because people are in a state of confusion because they don't know how to discern. And it's a lot of it's because the Lord hasn't allowed that veil to be moved off of them. It's not necessarily that they're bad people, that they don't know the Lord. It's just that the Lord has not revealed the truth to them yet. And slowly the Lord is doing that. And so if you've grown through this entire year and you've been to a point now where you're more awake and you've been so aware of the news and how to discern the news, then you know what I'm talking about. For those that are still kind of in the dark and blinded, the Lord is allowing this period for a reason, because he's allowing things to be so impossible, so just unthinkable, that the way that the Lord is going to work is that he's going to make it and put it to the brink of just no return, only for him to do a 360 and a miraculous last minute move. And so what the Lord's been doing this entire time he's allowing all of the people that have the wickedness of election tampering and all these different things to come to light. He's allowing the false prophets in the media to be caught up in their lies. He's allowing the big tech companies to do all of their wickedness as well, to censor people, to put tags on posts and things like that. And he's and the search engine kind of stuff that's kind of suppressing some key terms and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff like that going on, but he's allowing the enemy to do his thing. He's allowing the enemy to do his thing such that it would be revealed and it would come to light. And if the enemy and demonic forces aren't doing their actions, then they can't be prosecuted, nor can they be brought to justice, because they haven't committed the act. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's allowing people to really show their true colors. And even, and not just people that are in the actual political space, as well as within the poll watchers and the tabulators and all these people, right? Not just them, but also the hearts of us. Everyone that's watching, everyone's taking a side, everyone's in doubt, everyone has an opinion, and they think they're right. And God's allowing that to come to light. And I even read some of the comments. I read everything, and I know where people really stand. And God's allowing that to accentuate, to be further, divided, such that he can show you where your heart is, so that he can reveal to you where you need to humble yourself once things turn around. And so once January 20th comes around, obviously we will have a sitting president. And at that time, everyone will be humbled in some way. Everybody will be humbled because they took a side, or they had such a strong opinion, only to have had such a reversal with that. And so I want to read a quick verse here. It's from Isaiah 8, and it says in verse 11, "For the Lord spoke thus to me with his strong hand upon me, and warned me not to walk in the way of this people, saying, do not call conspiracy all that this people calls conspiracy. And do not fear what they fear, nor be in dread. But the Lord of hosts, him you shall honor as holy. Let him be your fear, let him be your dread. And he will become a sanctuary and a stone of offense and a rock of stumbling to both the houses of Israel, a trap and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many shall stumble on it. They shall fall and be broken, and they shall be snared and taken. And though this is applying to, the Old Testament and this time with Isaiah, it's applying to us too, because it's something that we can take to heart, because there's so many of us, we don't fear God. We don't see it from God's perspective, and we're going to be humbled. And a lot of us, if you think you knew something, if you think you had it all together and you thought, oh yeah, there's no election fraud, there's no, all these things, it's a conspiracy, it's all these things, you're going to be humbled. And because you haven't really, sought the Lord, you haven't really heard from the prophetic voices, you haven't really discerned for yourself, you haven't really prayed those prayers, God has to allow this to come to such an extreme, such that you would turn around. And so the Lord's revealed to me in the next 30 days that he's going to allow things to get a little worse before things get really good. And so he's going to allow the big tech companies and all these other guys to continue censoring. He's going to allow an even worse media, the media to really twist words and really hide things and, put color to things and sugarcoat things. And they're going to be trapped in their lies. And sooner or later, God's going to allow such a confusion in their camp. He's going to allow such a routing in their camp that once things come to light, the media companies and all these other people that are saying things, they have to fess up. They have to admit that they were wrong. They have to admit that they were lying, and they're going to have to come to that kind of justice. And as well as we see all these people just continually getting, sinning and doing the wicked things that they have to do, God's going to allow that to be done so that they can be revealed and they can be prosecuted. And he's going to allow all these other guys, Republicans even, like the Georgia governor, he's going to allow people. And I even see, even when I see John Roberts on the Supreme Court, I see a demonic influence over him. And even for him, whether he's blackmailed or whether he's just, has an agenda himself and he's, oppressed by the enemy, he's going to be prosecuted too. And he's going to be disgraced, and he's going to have to admit to or step down or whatever it is, because he's also not in the right place. And so that's why even with all that in the Supreme Court, God knows what was going to happen. And that's why he took, or rather he allowed Ruth Ginsburg, her to pass, and for Amy Coney Barrett to be put in her position at the right time right now, because God knew, and he knew what was about to come, and the legislation, and it's not even over. Like, you got abortion stuff, and you got Roe versus Wade. You got so many things that are about to come. Like, you guys have no idea, but there's a reason and a rhyme for how the Lord, in the right timing, allows someone to go away, and then for someone else to be brought to a certain position. And so watch for those people. And God has allowed this to be in such a place so that he can take all the glory, and that he can be given all the praise and worship, because he's going to turn some things around. He's going to do it in such a miraculous way. And I tell people, if God didn't want Trump in office, he could have just snapped his fingers like Ruth Ginsburg, and he could have allowed somebody else to be in office, but he didn't. He knew from the beginning of his life, of our life, who's going to be president at 2016 all the way to 2024. And that right now is going to be President Trump. And people are going to regret, and they're going to reject who God has anointed. And God has anointed, and he's appointed Trump. And you have all these people like myself and all their prophetic voices that are declaring that he is the chosen person for this time and place. But because there's such unbelief, there's such just a misunderstanding of the truth, that he has to send some of us to declare it, and he has to do something in such a fantastic, miraculous way for us to really be able to wake up and really be able to see that he's in control, that he's fully in control, and that he's going to fully establish his position for the next 4 years. And so I'm continually declaring this now, as well as many other people, in the midst of the lowest point. We don't even know if you're listening to all these, again, false prophets. you think it's over. You think this is it, and you're conjuring up, oh yeah, the presidential prerogative, the 2018 executive order on foreign election interference, and oh, you got this option. And everyone's just trying to like conjure up what to do. But even with that, God has something even greater planned, such a 180-degree, miraculous surprise attack that he has in store, that even Trump has a lot of things that he knows, because he gets briefed on all these different things. So Trump is a lot more knowledgeable than what he says on Twitter, what he says in the public, because he has everything, but he has to play this game theory with the enemy and show things at the right time to build a case, to allow people to come to realization at the right time. There's different things he's doing right now, but even for him, there's something that God has in store that even he doesn't realize. And the whole intent of this is for everybody, and for Trump to be broken, to really come to repentance and really come to just depend on him. And he's going to be humble in that way too, as he gets his second term, and he's going to be really looking back and saying, Lord, it was all you. I'm very thankful, and I want to take these next 4 years to do the right thing. And so he's fighting things that you guys won't even believe he's fighting, communism and globalism and all these things. And I'll explain these things in another video, like I mentioned, about understanding the times. But for now, I just want to encourage you that these next 30 days, it's going to get a little worse before it gets a little better. And when it does get better, it's going to be in such a miraculous way that even those in doubt, even those that have mocked us, the prophetic voices, as well as everybody else, they're going to be, in for a treat. And so watch for that. And stay tuned, because God's going to work a miraculous thing, and you're going to be in awe. And this is said again now, such that you could see that it's from the Lord, and that it's a miraculous thing that has already been decreed and declared by other prophetic voices, as well as God himself. And so, God bless you guys, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.